Guys, welcome to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're going to be making beer battered onion rings. So for this you'll need some flour, any light beer of your choosing. I've got some smoked paprika, onions obviously, an egg, black pepper and some salt. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to sieve all the dry ingredients into a bowl. So we grab some flour first, and we'll pop that in the sieve. Then we're going to add to that some of the smoked paprika. Not only does this give it a nice colour, it gives it a nice smoky flavour as well. Then we've got some salt. And some black pepper. Then we're just going to sieve that into the bowl. This gives it a nice smooth starting place. Once we've done that, there you can see there, nice and easy. We're going to add in our wet ingredients. So first of all, I start in with an egg. So we crack the one egg, put that in there, and we'll give that a bit of a whisk just to start the process. Now at this stage, there you go, it just incorporates it just a little bit. Then grab your, in this instance, beer, but you can add in sparkling water. You can even add in baking soda to get it lighter. This is all about adding bubbles and air into your batter. You want to keep it nice and light. So getting that there, you want your batter to be the consistency of double cream when you first pour it. You want it enough to stick to the onions, but not to be like a cake mixture. You want a nice thin crust to your onion rings. So you just balance that out until you get the consistency that you want. So as you can see here, we've got it to like double cream consistency, so absolutely perfect. Guys, if you are enjoying these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It costs you nothing to subscribe, okay? And we're now moving on to the onions. So here, we want to top and tail the onion. And then we want to cut them into about a centimetre thick rings. Now on here you'll see that not only do I take the skin off, but I also take the outer layer out, as you guys who follow these videos will know that. And then it's just about getting the consistency, the thickness that you want. Like I say, this is all about individual preference. So what I do, take that outer skin off. Now, as I cut the onions, I also look for the silvery membrane. So on this one, you'll see, there you go, it's on the outside. So we take that off. We don't want that in our onion rings. So then watch your fingers as you're cutting. And then you're just going to separate them. Now at this stage, you want to be careful you don't break the onion. And as you can see, I'm just double checking, make sure we've not got any of those membranes in between there. There you go, taking that. And you just repeat the process. got all the onions that you want, what you want to do is you want to get a little bit extra flour. Now in this flour, I've just put a bit of pepper in there. That's it. No salt, nothing else. The reason for that is what we want is we want a little bit of a dredge, so and a thin coating of flour, so that the batter will actually stick to the onion rings. Now, I've not got a deep fat fryer, so be careful, okay? On here, you never ever want to fill up the oil to more than half whatever you're cooking it in. So you want to keep that under control. If it does get too hot, you want to just turn off the ring, okay? If it's getting out of hand, you can actually add in more oil and that will reduce the temperature so that you can get it under control. If you are inclined not to do this, then don't recommend it. Be safe. That's the key to this when you're deep frying anything. If you've got an air fryer, even better, or you've got an actual deep fat fryer, brilliant. So how you check the temperature is you just drop a couple of bits of the batter into the oil, make sure they float. So you see these, they are floating, so you know your batter's nice and light, but you want to make sure it's at the right temperature when you put them in. Again, guys, if you are deep frying in what we would call an old-fashioned chip pan, be extremely, extremely careful. So onto this, again, all we're doing, dropping them in, giving them a light dusting, knocking off any excess flour. So you see here, just doing that, knocking that off, then popping them into the batter. So again, and you're just going to repeat the process now. Depending on the size of your frying pan or how you're cooking them, you don't want to drop the temperature of the oil, so you want to keep it in small batches. This amount of onion rings, I think I did it in about 4, maybe 5 batches. But you just repeat the process. Once you've got them lightly coated and you've dropped them in, all you're going to do now is you're just going to make sure that the onion rings are completely covered in the batter. So you're putting them in, giving them a good toss around, and then what you're doing is you're knocking off any excess batter. Again, you want a thin coating of the batter. That's what makes onion rings crispy. If you leave it too thick, it becomes almost like a cake around them, and they're not going to be crispy. As soon as you take them out of the oil, they'll go soft and soggy. So again, just be careful with this. You can see here, the oil wasn't quite up to temperature, so they did stick. As later on you will see, as soon as you put them in, they float straight away. That's the temperature you want to keep them at. So just to start, always go away from you, and we do that. So at this stage, so they're not just sticking to the bottom, I just lift them off very, very carefully. Again, it's all about control and not being scared. At this stage, you just got to keep turning them round. If they float, these bits I just take out as we go. You want to just keep tossing them around, because obviously as they start to float, only one half's being cooked in the oil. So you just want to keep that going. First batch took a little bit longer, like I said to you, because the oil wasn't quite up to temperature. But the next few batches were relatively quick. I think I did the other batches in 4 or 5 minutes. You see here, you pop it in and it starts to float. Once it's cooking, it starts to raise up. Straight away, the bubbling away, so you know that they're cooking. Always do it away from you. Guys, look after yourselves. Again, be careful with this. It can easily go wrong, but look, as a Scotsman growing up, it was about time that I had to deep fry something. So guys, look after yourselves, mate, look after each other. Okay, this is the Single Dad's Cookbook signing off. Enjoy yourselves, look after one another. From my family to yours, stay safe.